And this two-day meeting, ladies and gentlemen, is actually a preeminent gathering of the NATHEALTH leaders, members, policymakers, think tanks, and the other stakeholders coming together and meeting at the crossroad of sustainability, climate change, digital transformation, net zero targets, and public health. And at a time when we are just 7 years away from the finishing line of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. And we all agree, and we are very conscious of the fact that this road to 2030, there is a lot to be covered by us. Towards that, in this two-day meet, we invite your views, your ideas, your innovations, your technologies, your investments, your collaborations and your partnerships towards addressing these challenges and unlocking the critical pathways towards achieving the universal health coverage. And as we do so, in this very curtain raiser event, we have towering personalities, the transformation leaders. We have Dr. V.K. Paul, our honorable chief guest of the day, the member health, nutrition, and the human resource development, Niti Aayog. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, as I request Dr. V.K. Paul to kindly take center stage. We are going to be joined through a video message by Dr. Reddy, the founder, president of NATHEALTH and the founder chairman of Apollo Hospitals. And now I invite Dr. Shravan Subramaniam, the president of NATHEALTH, inviting Mr. Ashutosh Raghuvanshi, senior vice president NATHEALTH, Ms. Sameera Shah, Vice President NATHEALTH, Managing Director of Metropolis Healthcare. Inviting Ms. Binda Mathur, Secretary NATHEALTH, and Mr. Sunil Thakur, Treasurer NATHEALTH. So we have the leadership of NATHEALTH joining us. We have the towering personality, the transformation leaders with Dr. V.K. Paul and Dr. Reddy, who's going to be addressing us through a video message. And then we have various curtain raiser and the thought papers and presentations, all which is going to be setting the course to the discourse which we are going to be taking in these 2 days. With that, at the very onset, I would like to request and invite the President NATHEALTH, Dr. Shravan Subramaniam, for his words of welcome for everyone.
Thank you very much and good morning. It's great to see everybody here. Dr. Paul, thank you so much. We could set our clock by you. You're right on time and we're off to a good start. On behalf of the leadership team of NATHEALTH, the Governing Council and members, I welcome all of you to our 9th summit. It's wonderful to see some familiar faces. Good to be back here in person again. Very warm welcome to some of our past presidents who are here, Dr. Mahajan, Daljit, and others who might be joining us remotely. Thank you all for being here. I also see our secretariat, the NATHEALTH secretariat. Thank you for pulling this together. And I see Anjanda. Wonderful to have all of you here. You know, as I was boarding my flight yesterday from Bangalore, people who come from Bangalore can appreciate this. The trees along the streets of Bangalore have burst into pink blossoms. Right? And it just happens once a year. And it felt somewhat allegorical to what we have gone through in healthcare. After years of despondency and tragedy, suddenly seeing these pink blossoms just uplifted my mood and felt that this is where we are in healthcare and how things have turned around after difficult and dark times. And then I landed in Delhi, and as soon as I got to the hotel, I was rocked by an earthquake. And that reminded me of how fleeting this can be and how prepared we must be for any shocks that might affect us. But I think we are here, we are present with some of the best and brightest in healthcare. We've learned a lot. You know, I felt like the last 3 or 4 years have been taking place in fast forward. And this is an opportunity for us to pause a bit, to reflect, to consolidate, and really strengthen our approach as we go forward. This is a convergence. This event is a convergence of, as I said, some of the brightest minds in healthcare, healthcare services, medtech, financing, and all sorts of healthcare people who are interested in outcomes. 500 registrants, the largest number of in-person attendees at the NATHEALTH summits over the last decade or so. And we have 5,000 virtual registrations as well. As I said, it's a convergence. We have 15 federations that are also part of this event, and we have a lot of outputs that we'll be speaking about today. With Dr. Paul being here, Dr. Paul, you've been very much an ally. You're one of the first people that we always reach out to as we are embarking on some of the strategic agendas that we take forward. And I'll not dwell too much on that. I think you heard a lot from us in person as we have met you, and you have all the material. But just to cover some of the high points, the priorities that we have been working on since we last met a year ago at the NATHEALTH Summit. Number one is to build healthcare system capacity to handle NCDs. You're all aware of the 2017 National Health Policy, and it wasn't necessarily suspended, but we had some other priorities over the years. So now it's time to get back and double down on NCDs. And alongside that comes infrastructure expansion. A lot of hospitals, a lot of medtech players have embarked on capacity management, capacity optimization. And the last couple of years have also seen the scaling up, the rapid, dramatic scaling up of digital health adoption. So we prepared some outstanding white papers through our members, through our knowledge partners who have put in a lot of work, interviewed a lot of experts in the industry, even outside the industry, outside the country also, and put together some amazing white papers on scaling up digital health adoption. And none of this could really take us to the future without healthcare innovation. We have in the basement some startups that are juicing up innovation for us in the healthcare industry. We'd love to have all of you interact with the startups, interact with some of these tech companies who've invested so much time and effort to take us to the next generation of healthcare. As we move, as we evolve, and as we converge as an industry with all our subsectors, we have worked on thought leadership through original research, white papers, various industry initiatives, and we've taken up projects across CSR as well. This will be the second year that we'll be recognizing and acknowledging some of our members who have participated extensively and jointly in CSR initiatives. Another significant change that we've seen in the last couple of years is expansion into the region. We now have offices across the country, and we are taking NATHEALTH. Of course, NATHEALTH has always been a pan-India organization, but we now have a team, and we're engaging with health service providers and partners across the country through our secretariat that is spread out. So I'll stop with that. You're going to be hearing a lot more from me and other members of the leadership team and our speakers and our panelists over the next couple of days. Once again, thank you so much for signing up in large numbers and inviting your friends and colleagues to take part in these events. I will pause now and hand it back to the MC, and we'll continue this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shravan, for setting the tone and the context of our discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, as we're talking about unlocking the critical pathways leading us to the universal health coverage, we all agree that in the past few years, especially because of the COVID and the other geopolitical crisis and the slowdown, the speed, the scale, and the pace of the Sustainable Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goal 3, which talks about universal health coverage 3.8, all this has been hugely impacted. So how do we further accelerate towards and accelerate the progress towards achieving universal health coverage? That is where we seek the guidance and the views of our honorable chief guest, who's recognized world over as a leading expert in universal health coverage and human resources for health. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. V.K. Paul, the honorable member, Health, Nutrition and Human Resource Development at NITI Aayog, who's a globally recognized medical scientist, researcher, clinician, educator, and a public health exponent. I request and invite Dr. V.K. Paul for his address.
Testing.
It's a conversation. Good morning. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. And today is the start of a new year. The first professional work that we are all doing is for a very noble cause. So, badhai. Respected Dr. Shravan Subramanian ji, Dr. Ashutosh Raghuvanshi ji, Dr. Harsh Mahajan and the past presidents, Amira Shah ma'am, Brinda ji, friend Siddharth, and indeed senior leadership of healthcare of India. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be here for a very important event at a very notable juncture. We are passing through a phase where now the pandemic effects, tough times, joint endeavor is now in a different phase that we can deal with larger issues more effectively. And let me congratulate you, thank you, compliment you for all the work that you did during the COVID time. Thank you so very much. This is on behalf of the people of India, on behalf of government of India. We worked together. We faced it together. And we delivered. And meeting the expectation of the Honorable Prime Minister in a very reasonable way. Shravan has set the stage for our discussions. And I'd like to take forward in the format of a conversation. Because as we settle down, we can now put our act together, can take new resolutions, and recognize how much change in our sector on the ground has taken place. Truly, there are lessons that we have learned. Truly, the context to an extent has changed. And also there are secular changes in the landscape which have also taken place. Let me enumerate them. So we learned how to respond in a very big way in terms of course, scrambling our health infrastructure, moving from treatment protocols A to B to C in a systematic way. We learned that our nation can deliver on diagnostics and technologies and pharmaceuticals and above all vaccines in a most astonishing. This was our strength. We knew it was there, but we all brought it to the fore for our nation and for the world to see. A total of about 280 diagnostic tests were certified by the Indian Council of Medical Research. Of these, 78% were Indian. Within about 100 days, about 100 such diagnostic tests were created from nowhere. It was all there. We have the widest platform of vaccines for any nation. No nation has the entire bouquet of inactivated platforms, the adenovectoral platform, multiple adenovectoral platforms, protein subunit, mRNA, that also thermostable, first DNA, intranasal, and so on. As many as 8 vaccines are licensed. No other nation has this. We rose to the occasion by a digital phenomenon, avalanche. We rose together to demonstrate our prowess of telemedicine. The world is our team in this space and other spaces globally since the onset of the pandemic has risen, we all know it. geopolitically, India is seen as much stronger, much stronger player. And that brings me to the second context, the G20 context. Our nation is going through the presidency, and there are opportunities. And then there are developments such as a huge primary healthcare setup of 1.5 lakh, 150,000 health and wellness centers have been operationalized, even in the midst of this pandemic. You perhaps know that we are now producing 1 lakh. We have 1 lakh MBBS seats. 52,000 in 2014, and 1 lakh. Another development that you may like to know. We have rising ABDM, Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, in front of us. We are strengthening our capacity in critical care, and so on and so forth. So several things have changed, and some of them I like to refer to them and humbly submit that we work together in taking them forward. But above all, and let me not miss that point, we are looking forward to hearing from you here and also in other conversations, to which I heartily invite you to set the next vision for the larger healthcare system of India. उसका वक्त भी आ गया है. हमारी नेशनल हेल्थ पॉलिसी 17 में बनी. हम अपनी कॉन्वर्सेशंस कर रहे हैं, एक जगह पे पहुंचे हैं, इतना कॉन्टेक्स्ट बदल गया तो बैठ के और बातें भी करने की जरूरत है. Clearly, last 9 years have seen a big push for universal health coverage. Almost 60% of India's population is covered for secondary tertiary care. If you put PMJ together with the state level scheme, many states it's a universal. It's a big one. A network of primary healthcare has been set. These are the two wishes me always had to see blooming. We made progress. We made progress for setting up a public health management cadre to get the governance right, and so on and so forth. So a lot has happened, and in the medical education space, things have happened, as you know very well. Nursing bill is also on the anvil, and so on. So let me not elaborate in each one of them. A lot has happened. Can we also sit down and think about envisioning for 2030 and above all for 2047, because we have a responsibility to work relentlessly during the Amrit Kaal. तो पहली रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे सर, एक ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग की तरह, राउंड टेबल की तरह बैठने का मैं सुझाव देना चाहूँगा. Having said that, we can clearly see that our prowess for medical technologies should be harnessed, and we are there where we are not because we were at zero and we became heroes for vaccine, diagnostics, pandemic, whatever. It was because we had our strength in science, academia, industry, all of you, and in the public sector. So zero से hero नहीं बन रहे हम लोग. हम यहाँ पे हैं तो potential क्या इसको हम ऊपर लेके जा सकते हैं. So a conversation around India's rightful role in providing what is now known as pandemic response countermeasure, but that which means diagnostics, drugs, and vaccines, but for even in non-pandemic time, is clearly a strength that we have seen. And how can we take it to the next level? Which would mean, can we make India as the hub of diagnostics? It would mean, can we now go into new molecules which can address antimicrobial resistance, for example? And can we do, when we create vaccines and other such technologies that we need in a unique way for our nation and for the world? For example, can we have monoclonal antibodies against snake venomation, for example? And a set of diagnostics, point care diagnostic in the primary care settings, say for kidney disease, and so on. So इसके बारे में हम आगे तक कहाँ ले जा सकते हैं? how can the regulatory system and the government system be facilitatory in this? You have also seen those changes. You have also seen the visibility of Ayush in this regard. We are now in a position to offer our services for the world. One other development, as you are well aware, in the space of this period, particularly last year, has been a clear push for what we like to call medical tourism or medical value travel. Clear policy. इसके लिए काम करना है. इसके लिए एक इकोसिस्टम तैयार करना है. Many of you are already participating in developing those frameworks and the dashboard and so on. So I give a call to you to align and think about how best to make that opportunity. It's our destiny to be the top hub of medical value tourism. तो एक नई डेवलपमेंट है, सब जानते हैं, लेकिन यही कन्वर्सेशन आज करना चाहते हैं कि कहाँ पहुँच के कहाँ अपॉर्चुनिटीज हमारे सामने आ रही है और कहाँ एक क्लियर पॉलिसी डायरेक्शन हम देख रहे हैं फ्रॉम द प्राइम मिनिस्टर. तो मेडिकल वैल्यू टूरिज्म के लिए तैयार होने के लिए जो हम कर रहे हैं उसके साथ जुड़ो और जो और करना चाहिए उसके बारे में बातचीत की जाए. To make a success of MVT, we all know it will be about transparency, it will be about quality, it will be about ease of transaction, and above all accountability to stand by it. There is also a notion of heal from India. I heard it from a distinguished colleague. From India. In India, so एक चीज़ है from India through tele consultations across borders. What would it take for us to undertake that in a very big way? So MVT के बारे में बात करिए, आइडियाज लेके आते हैं, तेजी से लेके आते हैं और इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में G20 के भी एजेंडा पे पैरेलल एजेंडा पे G20 के 3 एजेंडास हैं. One is health emergencies preparedness through the One Health lens, which means pandemics of this kind, but also pandemics which are linked to animal kingdom and so on, and antimicrobial resistance. That's the first one. Second is how to create countermeasures. So the countermeasures of pharmaceutical drug, exactly the kind of strength we all have. And third is about digital. ये सारे हमारी strength है. And fortunately, they are on the agenda. Capture this opportunity. And on this, my suggestion would be, would you like to think of having G20 convening of your counterparts? सोचो, देर क्यों कर रहे हैं? बल क्रिएट करते हैं, उनको अपनी strength दिखाते हैं, सोच दिखाते हैं, unity दिखाते हैं, solidarity दिखाते हैं. तो एक सजेशन ये मैं बाद में देने वाला था, but let me just cover it. कि उन्हीं के तीनों चीजों पे plus medical value tourism as the side event प्रायोरिटी, तो आप सोचिए कि ऐसा करके क्या हमें डिविडेंड मिलेंगे, हम उनसे सीखेंगे, हम उनको सिखाएंगे और देश को ऊंचा लेके जाते हैं. It's a special period for that we are going through the next 6 months. My next point that I want to share with you is we need your help in eliminating diseases, some specific diseases. You will be happy to note that there are some diseases which are within our control to be eliminated through effort of all of us. Tuberculosis, well known. We have a timeline of 2025. There's a summit 2 days from now. So we need the last push. And you are aware that public-private partnership in a very precise, structured, specific, systematic way is on. Can we put more energy into it? उसमें जो तेजी और क्या ला सकते हैं हम लोग? रिपोर्टिंग की बात हो रही है, कवरेज की बात हो रही है, अर्ली डायग्नोसिस की बात हो रही है, फिर अलाइनमेंट, इकट्ठे काम करने की बात हो सकती है किसी डिफिकल्ट ज्योग्राफी में. My fear is that our last mile will be the tribal belt of India for TB. वो रहेंगे. तो अब टाइम आ गया कि उनको बहुत ही आगे लेके आने. क्या हम इसे मदद कर सकते हैं? एस्पिरेशनल जिलों में मदद कर सकते हैं. तो एक तो टीबी के बारे में चर्चा करिए. नेट हेल्थ इज द ओवरआर्चिंग अम्ब्रेला. टेक्नोलॉजीज भी हैं, प्रोवाइडर भी हैं, सोशल एक्टिविस्ट वाला एलिमेंट भी है. तो मेरी रिक्वेस्ट होगी टीबी. Secondly, you are aware that we have launched, the government is launching the National Sickle Cell Control Mission, which has multiple aspects, One is screening and counseling of all the 7 crore under 40 population, tribal population in multiple states. उसमें योगदान ग्राउंड लेवल पे हम मांग सकते हैं आपसे. उसके साथ साथ we have to make available hydroxyurea for those who are affected, and pneumococcal vaccine and penicillin for children and so on. There is an opportunity for us to connect on that. It will help. Think about how you can from the very beginning be a very strong partner. We will need that help from you. उसमें diagnostic is still being cracked. An affordable point of care, we have an option, but there could be much better options or competitive options which are even more effective and easy. So there's a technology aspect which is also there. Lymphatic filariasis is another disease which is to be eliminated by 2027. सिकल सेल के लिए हमने कहा कि स्टेबल हो जाएगा 2047 में. Lymphatic filariasis is an SDG target, but the government has preponed it to 2027 because we think we can. There is a backlog of surgeries for lymphatic lymphedema. Can you help in taking care of that? It's lots, thousands of individuals. उसमें मदद क्या हम कर सकते हैं क्या? Kala-Azar, we are at the cusp of eliminating. It may even happen this year. Should happen this year. Mumps, rubella, elimination possible. Leprosy, again, is another one which must get eliminated before 2030 and we need help. So what I'm putting in front of you are communicable disease priorities in particular, and sickle cell is a special case where joining hands and to make a difference to the diseases of the very poorest. These are the diseases which have no business to be there in some sense. Sickle cell is a special case, but the rest of them. And these are so-called neglected tropical diseases, but for India, they are the priority diseases to be eliminated, and therefore I request your participation in that. On universal health coverage, for those who are being left out from the government programs, we need an insurance product or products which middle class families can buy. Still a challenge. We have not cracked it. There is, something equivalent of 5 lakh insurance typically is about 24,000, and if there is an elderly, it is 50,000 and more. 42,000. Difficult. It's not got on. Then there is a waiting period for illnesses. We don't have a product which the middle class can really take. I urge you to seriously think about it. We haven't found an answer. आप सब यहाँ उसमें हैं. IAD मदद भी कर सकते हैं. Insurance difficulties हैं. जो भी issues हैं, but इसको किसी दिन तो हमने क्रैक कर, क्योंकि उस वैली के लिए टैक्स पेमेंट हो एक ऑप्शन है. That will always be under consideration. We have to move towards universal coverage. We are covering about 50%, 45 to 50% of India's population by various national plus state schemes. But there are people who are left out, and they are the most needy, and they are in those states which are more challenging states. So may I once again request, can we think about a product, a vanilla product, which covers to the extent of 5 lakh a family without exclusions, and also the challenge of covering the elderly, even in other circumstances, is a big issue. Upper middle class के लिए भी cover नहीं हो रहा, 60 के बाद हो रहा है. क्या हम इसको क्रैक कर सकते हैं? मिलके इसका कोई रास्ता निकल सकता है? इसके बारे में मेरी एक सुझाव और रिक्वेस्ट. Coming to infrastructure, we like to understand how to accelerate the pace of private healthcare infrastructure faster. To the best of my understanding, it is slow increase, if not static. Kindly educate us in that conclave that I am suggesting for priority setting, where we are and what more can be done. What would be the future models that we are looking forward? Will it be expansion on the corporate big ones, the middle ones, or also in the space of small sized hospitals and nursing home? उसके लिए क्या किया जा सकता है, इसकी बात करना चाहिए. तो उसको फिर दोबारा देखते हैं. ये तो हमेशा के लिए हमने तो अभी 1 per 1000 बेड है, 2 बनाना है, 2.5 बनाना है. होम केयर आने वाली है, एल्डरली केयर के होम केयर का मॉडल आ रहा है. उसके बारे में भी सोचने का टाइम कैसे हम प्राइवेट सेक्टर में वो सिस्टम क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, होम बेस्ड केयर. Another thing that we learned during COVID times, that a lot can be done in the home setting. How do we leverage that on the infrastructure? And if our previous schemes have not really helped very much, the VGF scheme, can we think about new models of such schemes? Lastly, again, I would say on my usual request for helping us in the specialist training, PG seats have doubled, both put together in the space of NMC-driven college system, but also in the DNB system. I have always said, and I have to repeat it again, that the biggest potential खजाना जो है पीजी ट्रेनिंग का वो आपके पास प्राइवेट सेक्टर का गवर्नमेंट वाली साइड में हो भी रहा है बहुत हो भी चुका है लगभग सब हम जिलों में इन अ बिग वे वी आर गोइंग फॉर डिप्लोमा national board in 8 specialties. DNB courses are being done. District hospitals are being converted into medical colleges, and so on. There is scope. Municipal hospital, PSU, ESI, railways. There is a scope. But then you have 6 lakh beds equivalent, if not more. And what you are giving back in terms of PG training is about 8,000 seats. The other 6-7 lakhs are giving something like 50,000 or 48,000. इसके बारे में प्लीज फिर सोचिए और the biggest reason in addition to providing workforce for future for India which we need badly as you very well know is also that it will improve your services. When there is a teaching program, the best of the corporate hospitals in the world have a strong residency program. Please थोड़ा उसमें जुड़िए. I know issues, but एक रास्ता निकलना ही चाहिए. नहीं तो सब आप हमारे अपने सारे सेक्टर की जो यहाँ है पब्लिक में तो है डिफिकल्टी वी आर बीइंग हैमस्ट्रंग बिकॉज ऑफ not having enough workforce to really also requesting you to kindly support nursing program, support nursing with their amenities as they deserve, because we want to push nursing to the next level. There are challenges. The new bill, you will see there are contours of how we want to set the training right, the quality training and ethical training, and also moving them in the direction of nurse practitioners, etc. I urge you that you look at how you nurture the nursing system and our nurses and create leadership within nursing for the private sector, but beyond the private sector. With these words, I would like to conclude by saying, let's capture let's respond to the change landscape, A. B, capture some of the opportunities such as the MBT, but above all, G20, shall we say, platform in a certain way, because it's dealing with the issues which are directly your passion, your capability, and your offering to this great nation. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul, for igniting minds, stimulating ideas, and giving us a lot of food for thought to reflect and to act upon. Thank you. And I would now like to request Dr. V.K. Paul to also release 3 publications which have been prepared by NATHEALTH along with its knowledge partners. We first have the dialysis report release, and I would like to invite from ENY, who are the knowledge partners, the team to please join us. Vikram Bhupala, Mr. Bhaskar Guha, Indraneil Roy, Dr. Narayan Pense, Mr. Manish Sadana, Mr. Shaurya Dayal, Dr. Aseem Garg, Mr. Prabhat Srivastav, Mr. Harsh Natarajan, Mr. Rajneesh Gupta. I request you all to please join. This is the dialysis report which is being released, which reflects on the demand, the challenge, and the policy insights prepared by ENY on further the future of dialysis through a multi-sectoral approach. It suggests bringing all the stakeholders to the common mission of improving dialysis delivery, and above all, in reducing mortality rates arising out of the end-stage renal disease. Further, also improving the quality of life of dialysis patients. you to the team ENY and all who prepared the report. Now we have the health financing paper with release prepared by PwC, enabling an accessible, equitable, and affordable health coverage for 1.4 billion Indian citizens. May I request from PwC to please join us as we release this report. This paper focuses on ascertaining ways to solve the problems of insufficient infrastructure, inequitable health coverage, and inadequate focus on outcomes. So again, a very deep study which has been done by NATHEALTH along with PwC, our knowledge partners, in preparing this report, this paper. Thank you. And now we have the release of the health financing, of the digital health report, which outlines pathways to scale the adoption of digital health. This has been prepared along with our knowledge partners, Arthur D. Little. I would like to invite Mr. Barnik Mehra, Mr. Gaurav Sharma to please join us as we release the report and the others present from ADL. This report, ladies and gentlemen, seeks to understand the current level of digitalization and Ayushman Bharat digital mission adoption across provider segments, draws key insights from successful global digital health rollout programs, understands the challenges to provider side digitalization and the Ayushman Bharat digital mission integration, recommends imperatives to accelerate the creation of a digitalized and Ayushman Bharat digital mission compliant provider ecosystem. Thank you once again to Dr. Paul. Thank you for guiding us. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Paul has a very pressing engagement, a meeting to follow. So we thank him for giving us time, and a special memento we would like to present him. May I request Dr. Shravan to kindly present a special memento, our token of our gratitude, appreciation, big thank you, regards to Dr. Paul for guiding us. All good. Would like to request you all to remain at your seats. We continue with the session. And once again, I would, as we now go a little deeper into our discussions, I would like to once again invite Dr. Shravan Subramaniam for his thoughts and views and presentation on the theme of the summit and also the digital health report, which we just released, to reflect on that with his presentation.
Thank you so much. And perhaps I'll also take it conversationally from here. So let me ask you in the audience, all healthcare aficionados, how many of you have downloaded the ABBA card on your phone? Not bad. That's a decent number. And how many of you, I mean, I think this is a no-brainer. How many of you transact on UPI? When was the last time, right? Any of us have, yeah, so everyone is on UPI. I can't remember the last time I've actually had to deal with physical cash for, day-to-day transactions. I think that's where we are headed with healthcare as well. And do take, this is a terrific report that the ADL team has put together, which really helps us understand what the gaps are and who has adopted this well, who has some of the gaps. You see some of the larger providers. If you could go to the next slide, please. Some of the larger providers have taken this up pretty well. The smaller providers, the private providers, are eager and anxious to learn, but there is a little bit of gap in terms of their understanding and how they can do it. And this also provides us with an opportunity to engage with them holistically. Anecdotally, I can tell you that I've met folks from hospitals across tier 2, tier 3 hospitals around the country, and they're all very eager to get on board. But we're probably at the early stage of a hockey stick when we're going to see dramatic and exponential adoption of digital health at scale. There is also now the opportunity, you've seen outside, we have a booth from the NHA on ABDM integration. There is a help desk. So I think this audience is probably a little ahead of the curve, but still do engage with the NHA desk. And as you come across healthcare establishments across the country that are looking to promote the use of ABDM compliant software integrated into their systems, let's please all take this forward. There's also an integration that's happening on the payer side. So the payer side digitalization of corporations, of claims processing. This is also a huge opportunity area, and we foresee that there will eventually be a reward associated with digitalization and ABDM adoption. I'll pause there. The report is great. For those of you who want a digital version, you should be able to receive it. You will be receiving it from the Secretariat, and we'll also be posting these on our new improved website. There's a little plug for the website there, but do take a look, spend some time looking over this and share this with your colleagues across your organizations. Thank you. If you could go to the next slide, please.
So we'll now hear from, from the leadership team on the...
I'll pass it on to Dr. Raghuvanshi. Take the next slide, please.
Thank you, Sean. The second theme, which is one of the most important areas, is about the skilled allied healthcare professional workforce. Any system, whatever technology we incorporate, whatever other physical infrastructure we create, cannot run successfully unless we have an adequately trained and proper workforce in terms of not only physicians, but the allied healthcare professionals. A lot of efforts have gone in last few years, as Dr. Paul was mentioning, in last 9 years, number of seats in both undergrad as well as post-graduations have been increased quite a bit. So the issues related to the clinicians are getting resolved. However, there has not been so much focus on allied healthcare professionals. Under the Skill Council, there are many developments which are happening and many different courses and streams which have been approved by the Skill Council, and those trainings are happening, but they're happening in a slightly unorganized manner and in a very fragmented kind of way. So I think it is very, very important to focus on this part of the ecosystem, because this is what is going to actually drive the rest of the ecosystem. And here I think it is very important that private sector gets a little more involved in providing these trainings and also helping develop those curriculum and programs. And I think technology is going to play a very important role. So there could be providers who could be training in using technology. That is another area. And at the same time, I think there is a need to strengthen the certification and accreditation program through the Skin Council or any other mechanism which policymakers may decide. Post that, I think it is also important to provide a career path to all these individuals who choose these professions and make sure that they become part of the, they they can aspire to eventually run the organizations. And I think that is a very important effort. And, for example, in our organization, we have taken up a program. We are making nurse leaders. So we have operational nurse leaders and other nurse leaders, which is beyond the nursing profession. So they get a seat on the table in policy making, in decision making in the organization. So I think those kind of initiatives also will go a long way to get the allied health force and professionals to another level. I think these are some of the important areas which need to be considered. Thank you.
One of the other themes that we're going to do for this year, which is very new, I think, for NatHealth, and something that really is in the interest for all of us as a healthcare provider, society, and ecosystem, is, I think in our industry, we see a dichotomy of some of us who will sort of aspire for world-class KPIs, world-class outcomes, world-class accreditation. But that's not necessarily the whole of the industry. And we see a huge volatility and variance in the quality of healthcare, which finally results in a lack of patient care and a lack of patient safety for most Indian citizens as it is today. And this is true for the private sector as well as the public sector, where there is really no standard of care that a patient can expect when they walk into a hospital, a nursing home, a diagnostic center, a radiology center, or in any other service engagement that they do. What we are choosing to do this year is to really do a great empowerment initiative in educating consumers and patients on what really differentiates good quality healthcare from not so good quality, and how does that finally impact their own safety when they are making choices for deciding where they want to go and who they want to engage with. What are the sort of check boxes that they should look for? And we're sort of pushing a messaging of choose safe healthcare. And that's going to be really one of the main themes of this year. What this is going to entail is really setting up a microsite which will have lots of content in very simple English with blogs and videos and articles, all kinds of information around some major themes. For example, infections in hospitals. For example, what happens behind the scenes in a lab, etc., etc. So we'll choose a bunch of content themes here. And the idea should be that it's not only the operators which have to up their bar in terms of quality and excellence, but it's the patient who has to start asking for this as their right. And when we have this push and pull that comes together is hopefully when we will see the industry change. Obviously, we're not doing this alone. We're doing this in partnership with QCI, NABH, and many, many other partners. And we do look forward to all of you in NatHealth in really providing great content for us to make this microsite really successful and a new initiative from the NatHealth team. Thank you.
Well, the other important agenda is health financing. As all of us know, globally, a good payment model and a payer system has the best chance of influencing healthcare in the right way in terms of affordability, accessibility, and more importantly, quality. So this paper sort of covers the areas where we sort of are still challenging in India, and how do we cover it by bringing in the right financing model. So three big gaps that we see is insufficient infrastructure that mainly comes from paucity of right infrastructure at the right place. So while all of us know it's one bed to per 1,000 persons, but what is more acute and needs resolution is the disparity across the region. So how do we sort of bring in a PPP model to take care of infrastructure in the place that requires the most? So that's one part of the challenge that we're trying to solve. The second is the inequitable health coverage. More importantly, how do we sort of create structures and models to cover the 30%, which is the missing middle, to bring an inclusive health financing model in the country? And the third challenge that we have is how do we move to a quality care, which is more value-based care, and use this financing mechanism to influence the quality of healthcare delivery. As all of us know, most models that we have in India are mainly fee-for-service model, which is more driven by volume rather than value. So how do we bring together a model? So, that sort of caters to it. The paper has tried to cover these aspects and tried to sort of come up with solutions. So if I talk about the inefficient infrastructure, it's about promoting a PPP model that takes care of the problem in a holistic manner. So far, it was more inclined towards solving for capex, but what very few people realize that opex is about 25x of capex. So how do we bring in a model that solves for the operational losses that most private hospital partners run in a PPP model? How do you, within that, how do you solve for resources, which takes away human resources, which is clinical, non-clinical, that takes away about 45 to 50% of the OPEX. So that particular part is what needs to be solved in terms of bringing an inclusive model to cover the 30% missing middle. It's about working with the stakeholders to create products, which could mean co-pay, bringing the corporate SMEs into the fold to help, support the 30% population. And lastly, how do you galvanize the success from good infrastructure, good financing to enable a value-based care, especially when you bring the whole digital model into play? How do you enable, resolution around frauds, around promoting good care, around incentivizing good care by hospitals? So these are three areas that we've tried to cover through the paper. I thank PwC, Dr. Rana, Ashish, and the contributors to the paper who have brought in one of the best papers that I've seen around health financing in the country. Thank you.
On the last white paper that we released today for dialysis, let me just begin by some facts. NFHS data had indicated that about 18% of people suffer from high blood sugar levels, about 22% suffer from high blood pressure levels. That's one person out of every five sitting on a table that are likely to face some renal complications in their life. And therefore, under the Pradhan Mantri National Dialysis Program, the NHSRC and had requested NATHEALTH to gather some insights on the dialysis ecosystem, on the challenges that we face, the gaps in initial recommendations, if any. We therefore partnered with Ernst & Young for a splendid effort along with NATHEALTH, and might I also say that this was a cohesive effort where both the private as well as the public sector actively participated in several rounds of discussions and meetings. Almost all of the 8 to 10 leading private players, as well as support from NHSRC as well as NABH, we've been able to gather some findings around the current dialysis ecosystem. The burden of dialysis, of course, keeps on increasing year on year, but the pace at which newer centers are being established or the number of nephrologists that we have in the country indicates a relatively slower growth. We are not able to cope with the increased incidence and disease incidence currently. Therefore, recommendations were thought through in three broad buckets. Short-term recommendations where we make use of the existing standalone centers, the existing manpower, and utilizing them in the most efficient manner possible. From a medium-term perspective, as Dr. Paul also highlighted, availability of skilled manpower was one of the primary concerns, not just at a nephrologist level, but also in terms of technicians and nursing support. Getting access to places where there is a clean RO supply as well as electricity for dialysis operations in rural areas was also identified. So building human resource capability is something through short-term training courses we needed to work on. And from a long-term perspective, while currently about 94% follow the traditional method of dialysis, there are newer methods of peritoneal dialysis. We need to increase clinical adoption of that. We need to ensure mechanism of education campaigns, etc., and also monitoring supply side on that. I'd encourage everybody to read the paper, and as an organization and a body, we will continue to work, if not eradicate dialysis, but renal failure, but at least the level of dialysis that we're able to give in the country. Thank you.
So thank you to the leadership team for giving us an overview of these thought papers, a study which has been done by NATHEALTH along with the knowledge partners. Thank you to the knowledge partners also. And we are going to be reflecting in detail as we move into our sessions. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite the message of one of the luminaries of the industry, the stalwart, towering personality of the industry, who's rightly called as the architect of the modern Indian private healthcare sector. And he gave us the first private corporate hospital in a year when our economy was still a very closed economy. We opened up in 1991 and he gave us the first private hospital in the year 1983. And in fact, he gave that Vishwas to the Aam Aadmi, the right to good quality healthcare by taking and bringing the quality healthcare to the doorsteps of the people within the economical and the geographical reach of millions of people. And further, in fact, taking it to the households with the teleconsultation and the telemedicine. We know that Apollo Hospitals again was the first one to have introduced teleconsultation and telemedicine. Further, ladies and gentlemen, he has been a friend, philosopher, guide, a mentor, a guru to NatHealth, and even at this age of 90 plus, he continues to serve the humanity. I'm talking about Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, the founder president of NatHealth and the founder chairman of Apollo Hospitals. He has not been able to join us, but he has sent across his message. If you can play the message, please.
My greeting to all the distinguished dignitaries, members of NatHealth and NASCOM. Today, the 9th annual session of NatHealth, I think it's very important to recollect that this organization was formed by me a decade ago to bring all the healthcare players together and to make a significant impact in bringing better health, happiness to the nation. It is with that concept that health was formed. Today I'm very happy. The roles that have been played by each one of you, coming from different sectors in health, working together and making a significant effort to say that today NatHealth is a true representative body of the total health. God bless all of you for the wonderful things that you have done and you are planning to do. I think time has come for us all to say, here, India can become a major healthcare player in the world, bringing good health for its people and giving base for the health for the globe. God bless for all your efforts. First, I must also accept and acknowledge the state and the central governments have been continuously supporting our efforts in NatHealth in making health more accessible and deliverable in quality and cost effectively for the nation. And in this, I think we must appreciate several other players who have played a significant role in where we are in this journey today. I think we all realize that there is an acute need. Much has been done over the last decade, but much more need to be done to bring better health for all our people. And then health automatically is a happiness factor. Because, it's very important to realize that health can play a significant role in the wellness of the family, happiness of the family. And certainly, it's also a great source of strength for the nation. I think this is why I created in 2012 the NatHealth organization. I must again accept the glorious contribution that each one of you have made in making this organization today as a true representative of the entire health sector for the nation. We all know that NASCOM has played a very significant role in bringing IT to the nation, not only bringing commendable job opportunity for people, but bringing a lot of foreign exchange for the nation, a recognition for India as a global IT center. I think that is commendable, and this is what we should aim. Healthcare can equally do. This is what I have been pleading for, and I think this is what we all should work towards, that goal of making health available, good health available for all our people. We all know today there are not just few Apollo hospitals. There are 200-300 good hospitals in the country, which are giving excellence in care, people across all sectors. You have seen the unexpected COVID times, the way the healthcare responded, the public healthcare or the private healthcare, phenomenal. The outcomes that India had in COVID management is equal to the best anywhere in the world. I think similarly, there is this large number of tertiary care, quaternary care hospitals in the country which are delivering world-class healthcare and attracting patients from over 150 countries already. And I think there is a huge scope in this for the world to look at India as a global healthcare destination. When I represented this to the Prime Minister said, looked at it, and then said, I would like to add a few more things and make this as Heal in India, Heal in India, Heal India. I think that's a very great concept, because he said very nicely, way back 700 BC, Susuta developed the surgical tools and the methodologies for management of care. So I think mixing the allopathy with the naturopathy is typically what the Prime Minister and the government has worked very hard to where we are in making India towards this goal of achieving healing in India. And I would call it as India to become a global healthcare destination. All the sectors are going to be contributing towards this goal, and equally they will have great benefits that's coming across. This is where I think we can cross-subsidize from the number of medical tourists that are coming to India, can cross-subsidize so that we can treat some of the lower income patients also. So I think this is a very major effort where the government is playing a very significant role. And I think all of us must pull ourselves together to see how we can gear ourselves to be able to deliver this level of care with the newer technologies that are available. Medical tourism, artificial intelligence, medical intelligence, robotics, and all of this, I think, will play a significant role in upgrading the level of care and then improving the level of care and giving precision medicine for all people. I have no doubt with the efforts that the private sector has now done in developing this healthcare, tertiary and quaternary healthcare. In practically everything, in cardiology, our hospitals do everything that's happening anywhere in the world. In cardiothoracic surgery, our outcomes are better than the best centers anywhere in the world. And in transplant, India, the other day we celebrated 500 pediatric liver transplant. Out of that, nearly 50% came from overseas. So I think the transplants in every single discipline of healthcare today, our clinical team is backup. Today, I think the various hospitals, their clinical support, their supportive mechanism, and the artificial intelligence and digitization, all of these have made us as a global healthcare players. And I'm sure with the efforts that the government of India is taking, India will become a major healthcare player in the global arena, which will bring back not only a lot of new additional employment, but bring foreign exchange for the nation. I think it not only gives good health, but it also will bring, like IT, what IT has done, bring a significant amount of foreign exchange. As we look at this decade, nobody expected COVID, but COVID has been so well tackled, although it was an unexpected thing. But we must also see what they have said way back in 2016. IMF, UN, and the WHO said that the world will face between 2020 and 2030 a huge threat from non-communicable diseases. What are these non-communicable diseases? Heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes, infection. And I add two more to this, obesity and mental illness. This is projected to be causing 80% of the deaths by end of 2030. Can you imagine? 80% of deaths from in this non-communicable diseases. And then the cost burden for the world is going to be 30 trillion. For India, it's going to be over 4 trillion. Can we afford this kind of money? This is where I think by bringing the health awareness for people and to follow what we have done, way back 40 years ago, I started what's called the health checkup, mass health checkup. Then we made it Apollo Health Check. Today, using artificial intelligence and MI, we now call it Pro Health. It will determine the status of the health of the individual by the decade. And apart from that, it will also be able to give the crucial risk factors for various diseases. So you can detect heart disease early. Heart disease in India is not what the best is. In India, heart attacks are occurring at a younger age group, 25, 30, 35 age group. So I think this needs to be prevented. It can be prevented by doing a preventive health checkup. And if the risk factors are removed or if the disease is caught before it produces the damage, you can do a plasty or even surgery. The patient will be down. Similarly, in oncology, cancers can be stage 2, stage 3 and treated, and then the cancer is cured. For diabetes, if you control properly, you will have less complications from the heart, the brain, the neuritis and all of these problems. I think diabetic control can be easily make a significant impact in improving the health of the people. I strongly feel that we should now think of propagating preventive health checkups so that we don't have to face this huge burden of 80% of the deaths from the said. These deaths in heart and stroke are occurring in a younger age group. Even the family is desperate. So good health will bring happiness, health, happiness, and wealth for the family. And I believe we're all working towards this goal. Let's march forward with a positive trend saying that we will and we shall control healthcare in the nation to be one of the best in the world, attract the patients from all over the world, and more importantly, keep our people healthy and happy, and give the good health and happiness as a major gift for the nation and the world. God bless all of you. I admire the wonderful work that each one of you are doing in each of the healthcare that you are all participating. I admire you. God bless you.
So thank you to Dr. Pratap Reddy. His guidance and his blessings continue to lead NATHEALTH in the healthcare sector. And surely his ideas and encouraging words will help us deliver on Prime Minister's ambition of healing India and making India a global hub of health. So with that, we close this session, conclude the session, thanking the leadership team of NATHEALTH and thanking all of you also for being active participants in this session. We are going to be, after 10-15 minutes, moving into the next session, but we would like to definitely thank once again all the leaders present here, thanking our sponsors, a big thank you to them. We are also going to be, ladies and gentlemen, having a quick quiz also, and we have RJ Ria with us, who's going to be taking that quiz, conducting that quiz, exciting prizes and gifts to be won towards that. We would like to mention, ladies and gentlemen, that as Dr. Shravan started in his welcome address, he mentioned that when he came to Delhi, the spring season here, seeing the flowers within the earthquake. So taking care of our environment of Mother Earth, we are also going to be planting trees. There are going to be 50 trees which are going to be planted in every session on behalf of the speakers, and that's going to be at Diogar, Jharkhand. So that's a contribution of the healthcare sector towards more sustainability, environmental sustainability, we can do for the environment. Thanking all our sponsors, the platinum sponsors, Diagnostic, thanking also the O3 Capital, Fortis Healthcare, who are our gold sponsors, Wipro G Healthcare Private Limited, again a gold sponsor, Terumo, IQVIA, Vigon, SAS, Bogart Hospitals, the silver sponsor, Polymedicure, Metropolis Healthcare, Indus Health Plus, Siemens, Genberg Health Private Limited, Marengo, Asia Healthcare, Dr. Lal Path Labs, Apollo Hospitals, and then our special sponsors, Neotia Get Well, thanking Bharat Serums and Vaccines Limited, MGM Healthcare, Dialysis Service Providers Association of India, Pro Tribe Services India Private Limited, Metro Group of Hotels, and Roche Holding AG. So I would now request Ria to take center stage as she's going to be conducting that quiz. And yes, so opportunity for everyone to be winning some gifts and prizes, making you all the more happy. Over to Ria.
Thank you, Vimiji. My goodness, so many doctors and people from medical fraternity all at once in this room. Honestly, except from the hospital, I've never seen such dignitaries right at one place. And I'm definitely sure मेरे को अभी कुछ होता है, then there are a lot of people, a lot of doctors who can help me. Uh, So I was just trying to set the mood into a little lighter tone because we are obviously going to play the quiz and there are gifts also for the people here. And those who are wondering why my voice is so like this, just wanted to say, abhi just recently, like few weeks back, I suffered from this virus that's going around, H3N2, and that led to this huskiness in my voice. Yeah, I wanted cordless, yeah. I know a lot of people are meeting a lot of people today, but I humbly request everyone to be seated so that we can start with the quiz round. And that reminds me, I haven't introduced myself yet. So, hi everybody. Good morning. I am Ria. I go by name Riafication for all my social media handles also. And I'm a full-time media person at work and part-time your MC and your jock. So it's great to see all of you here right in the morning. And with so much of enthusiasm, you're all sitting and listening to our dignitaries, what they have to say and about the summit. So I welcome you all once again at the ninth Nat Health Annual Summit, an initiative by Nat Health in association with Digital Health and Innovation Partner NASCOM, Center of Excellence, IoT and AI. Thank you. Yeah. Once the slides are started. Yeah. I once again request all of you to be seated, if that's okay. So what happened right now was Vimiji was introducing, like she was taking the, interacting with all of you, and I had written the same script to begin with about the 1991 how the privatization, like the LPG reform came, and then I was like, shit. Vimiji has already said about it. What do I do? How do I go about it? So I rewrote the whole script and I was like, okay, now I have to make sure that I come up with something new. How do I say? I really feel a little like, how do I say that, sir, please be seated? Because you guys are so elder also, and then it doesn't feel right to keep saying that, ma'am or sir, please be seated. Okay. Right. Absolutely, absolutely. So it looks like you guys need a little break, like a tea break sort of a thing. So we will start with this quiz. And as you can see here, there is a scanner. So to play this quiz, you need to scan this and enter yourself. Like when you scan the scanner, you will have to enter your name. And this is more like a poll thing. So you'll get option. There will be multiple choices for each question, and you have to answer that. And whosoever answers the right, uh, you know, they'll get a goodie bag, a gift hamper, which I also don't know what is it in that goodie hamper, but definitely there will be something good in it. So in another 10 minutes, we'll begin with this quiz. So if you haven't prepared, you can prepare, but it is going to be, the question related to the medical fraternity itself. So we will come and play this game in another 5 minutes. It's 11:14. At 11:20, we shall begin with it. So it's already 11:21. I hope everybody is ready with their phones. So I request those who are playing this game, please scan the QR code. You'll have to enter your name. Yeah, you'll not get the question right away because once we start, the question will come on your screen. So for now, please scan this QR code, enter your details, and get ready because there are really good awards also and gifts also in the goodie bag, which obviously you don't want to miss. It's a great chance. So, how many of you have already scanned and registered your name and you're ready to play the game? Because we'll soon start. I request everybody to please be seated. I hope most of you who are present here are like you do belong to the medical fraternity from somewhere or the other, right? Yes or no? Like, can I get a yes or a no? Yes, right? Before this quiz start, I have a very basic question to ask, and let's see who can answer it rightly. So, a nephrologist is a doctor who specializes in the treatment and diagnosis of which disease that affects that affects the organ. Can somebody tell me? I can't hear it. The ma'am said first. So yes, obviously, it's a very basic question for the people who come from the medical fraternity because I myself am a humanities student. So it will take me to read or go through the Google to answer this. It's not right on my, it's not right there. So let's begin with the first question. What is India's current healthcare spend as a percentage of GDP? There are people who knows the answer. Okay, I'll come and I will ask you, and the person who gives the right answer will get a goodie bag. I hope our gifts are ready. Okay. I see a lot of people who know the answers already. I'm not going to comment to them because for the first guess, why should I give the correct answer? I know the correct answer. Sir, I see you're very busy on the phone. Are you playing the game or?
-3.
Okay, so first thing, what's your name?
Manoj Mehta.
Manoj, sir, a very simple question. Apart from this, uh, what do you do to keep yourself fit?
Always running.
You're always running. But you're sitting right now.
No, I'm always running.
Okay.
Too much. Enjoying too much.
So are you enjoying the summit?
Yes, definitely.
So who are you looking up to? Like to listen? Whose session are you waiting? Or which session is that one? All the sessions.
All the sessions.
Both the days.
Yes, both the day.
My goodness, I love the enthusiasm this person has. So I think most of you have answered the question. Who should I? Okay, sir, to have already answered. Let's see what's the correct answer. Many people here has answered 3%, which is the correct answer. Tell me who all answered the correct answer, honestly. Very nice. So I request, Manav sir, please come. You're the first winner for question number 1. Can we have the goodie bag, the gifts? Everybody, please clap for him. A for his, he has won the first round. B, he's so energetic. So do you want to say something to the people who have come here for the summit?
I think everyone attend the summit both the days. Then they will be get the benefit for the summit.
Absolutely. So who are planning to not come tomorrow for the summit? Is there anyone here? Wow. I'm going to see the same faces tomorrow as well. Sir, many, many congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So we have our first winner. Now let's move to question number 2. Right on your screen, how many health and wellness centers are envisaged under the Ayushman Bharat program? My goodness, I am stunned to see the numbers only. These are the questions that I can never answer. I can never answer. Okay. How many of you know the answer? I won't come to you then. Only 4 of you. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There are a lot of people who knows the answer. Okay. I'm gonna come to this pretty lady. Ma'am, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Dr. Ashwini from Safdarjung Hospital.
Hi, Dr. Ashwini. I think I'm gonna make a lot of contact here because everyone is a doctor here and I'm gonna be benefited out of it. So, Dr. Ashwini, what's the correct answer?
I think it is 1.5 lakhs.
It is 1.5 lakhs. You sure about it?
I think so.
Have you?
That's my best guess.
That's your best guess. Like you don't know the answer, you're guessing it.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, let's see. Let's find it out if she's correct or not. Can we have the answer? My goodness, a lot of people have guessed 1.5 lakh. आप सब पढ़ के आए हो क्या? मतलब आपको पता था कि यही क्वेश्चंस आने वाले हैं? और is the poll so easy? It's a thesis topic. Can you please come? See, we don't know if the answer is correct or not. Oh, it is correct answer. Can we have a huge round of applause for Dr. Ashwini, right? Here's your gift.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's mandatory to say something. Why are you here for the summit?
So I'm currently researching on the scope of digital health in our country, and so I thought this particular summit will give me a little bit of orientation, especially on the private-public partnership front.
Wow. Nice, yaar, because मुझे याद है, whenever I have attended a summit or a conference, all I have done is kept quiet, sat at the back, and just nodded. Without even listening or without even understanding what's going on, because at times it gets so boring. But I am really impressed that people here are sitting, taking all the information that is being shared, and even coming tomorrow for the. So you're coming? Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Dr. Ashwini. Now, the last question. Okay, so there will be more such questions in between the session. So I request you all not to go for the tea break for too long. I will keep coming back in between sessions and you might get a chance to win one of the goodie bags. So all the best and please enjoy the sessions. It's really informative and it is for our betterment. So yeah, thank you. That's me, Ria. I'll be back and right now, Vimmi ma'am.
Thank you.
Please
Thank you
take
so
over.
very much, Ria, for energizing everyone. And as she said, we are going to be having this quiz round after almost every session and look forward to all of you winning really some goodies here. We are good to start with the next session. May I request people standing to kindly take your seats. Once again, requesting you to please have your mobile phones on the silent mode. And this is the plenary session, as we said. In the first session, in the inaugural session, giving you an overview of the various thought papers which have been prepared along with our knowledge partners, taking a deep dive into our discussions here. We have now the session on achieving universal health in dialysis through strategic public-private partnership. We thank our sponsors for the session, DSPI, and our knowledge partners, ENY. Certain challenges which we are going to be reflecting on here is the lack of access to dialysis centers and machines across districts. That's the infrastructure challenge which we address. The low rate of reimbursement for dialysis sessions, that is definitely affecting the operation of the dialysis centers. So the operational challenges, the lack of skilled workforce, including dialysis technicians and renal nurses, addressing the capacity challenges here. So I invite our session lead,